Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are back in the building once again. The last 16 of the African Cup of Nations continues, and this time it is Egypt against Benin for an opportunity to have a place in the last 8 quarterfinals, and that will be taking place on Saturday. Now, we already know a few teams who have made it through to the quarterfinals. Obviously, on Friday, we will see Mali taking on Senegal in the first quarterfinal game. And then we have Cameroon taking on Morocco in a huge clash in the evening on Friday in the quarterfinals. Winner of this game here move into the quarterfinals to potentially play one of Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso, who play tomorrow. So we'll find out who their opponents will be tomorrow. So that's going to be very, very interesting. That is going to be taking place in Agadir as well in the quarterfinals. Obviously, yesterday we saw an immense game between Cameroon and South Africa, with South Africa going out after losing 2-1 to that young Cameroonian team who showed fighting spirit towards the end to hold on to their result. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, what are we going to be in store for today? Egypt, with a little bit of pressure, they've got to be they have to hold their nerve in order to continue to keep the North Africans alive in this competition. We've already seen one go out in Tunisia, being knocked out by Mali on penalties 3-2. Morocco got through a tough tie against Tanzania. I can't lie. Yesterday it was tough for Morocco to get through. They got through. They were dominant. They were making sure they were doing the right things in the attacking sense. But a couple of chances for Tanzania that could potentially put them level, maybe ahead in the game. Unfortunately, they crash out. Algeria have a huge clash tomorrow against Congo. Cannot wait to watch that one, because that is fascinating in itself. So there's a lot to play here for. There's a lot to play here for the North African teams to keep their competition alive. Egypt taking on a Benin side who I think are very tough customers. Congo. It took them a little bit of time to break them down, and they beat them 1-0 in their opening game of the African Cup of Nations to kickstart their tournament, Congo. But Benin had a good account of themselves. And then in the game against Senegal, where they lost their way towards the end. Obviously, I think it's the talent disparity between the two teams. They held their own, and they kept a good account of themselves. So I think this is going to be a very interesting matchup. I think Benin, obviously, our physical side, their wide players are very tricky customers, and it's going to be interesting to see how they pin back the fullbacks of Egypt here. But we'll get into these lineups real quick. Before we do anything, people, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button as well if you're new. Hit that notification bell as well on YouTube, and we are streaming live on X as well. So wherever you are, if you're watching on X, make sure you follow Pros Only Sports on X, Instagram, and TikTok as well. But yes. Let's get into this lineup real quick, because we're going to talk about what's going on here. Big up to everybody who's watching right now. I'm just going to do the little zoom in, and then we'll get into these lineups now. So here we go. We'll kick things off with Egypt. So we have El Shenawi in goal. We have a back four of Mohamed Hani, Yasser Ibrahim, Rami Rabia, and Mohamed Hamdi. And then in midfield, we have Marwan Atia, Hamdi Fati, and Ibrahim Adel. And then up front, it's Mo Salah, Omar Mamouche, and Trezeguet. Now, once again, we see the same type of situation where they've gone with Omar Mamouche as the false nine. And we've seen in this tournament that it has not worked. Will it work here against a couple of physical defenders in Verdon and Tijani for the Benin side? I wonder how that's going to work, because we saw it in the opening game against Zimbabwe, where they had to change things up to be able to win the game in the end. Mustafa Mohammed came off the bench and it became the central striker. Omar Mamouche was playing operating in a role where he had a bit of a free role, kind of in that 10 position. So him starting to lead the line again, operating in a false nine, whatever you want to call it, hasn't worked for the Egypt national team. So we'll see if that continues, if their struggles continue from that perspective, and if it will change throughout the game. But for the most part, it looks like everything is where it is, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. The team is largely unchanged. We've seen a lot of these players throughout the tournament. They've all made their way. Obviously, Mohamed Hani is back after missing the final game of the group stages due to suspension. He got a red card in the game against South Africa, their second game in their group. So he missed the third game in their group against Angola. Returns back to the starting lineup. He needs to be careful though, because one tackle and all of a sudden your tournament could be over again. So let's see what happens there. Let's move on to the Benin national team. They've done well to be able to qualify for the last 16 here in this competition. Let's see what they can do. Can they move? Can they move past the 7 times winners in Egypt into the quarterfinals and potentially face one of Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso? Let's see. Well, let's look into their team 4-3-3. Dejanu in goal. Then they have Oru, Verdon, Tijani, and Roche. And then in midfield, you have Doku, Di Almeida, and Hassane. And then up front, you have Oloko, who's come into the side, Tosin and Olatan. Dangerous pair up front between these two. Steve Mooney sits out, unfortunately. I don't know why that is. If that's an injury, is he on the bench? He does not look like he's on the bench, so it might be an injury to Steve Mooney, who usually leads the line for Benin. Well, I think that now changes the dynamic a bit for their team. When you look at these front three, very interchangeable, all quick, all can get in behind an Egypt defense. Egypt have shown that they can defend resolutely. We saw that in the game against South Africa. They were down to 10 men, very organized. South Africa struggled to break them down. I don't know if that was good defending on Egypt's part or if it's South Africa doing what South Africa did, especially in that game yesterday. They struggled to break down a defense for Cameroon, who were young, inexperienced, maybe a bit shaky at times. They still couldn't get in behind them. So maybe that was a bit of a mixed thing there. But this front line for Benin could cause them some problems with their movement. As I said, their physical side too. You look at that midfield trio, Doku, Di Almeida, Hassane, they can get around. They cover ground. They're able to pick passes to their forward players, and they're tough in the tackle. So it's going to be an interesting battle between them and the Egyptians. They shouldn't get sucked into the game that we usually see where, too many stoppages because too many fouls, things of that nature. They need to just take their time and allow themselves to get their forward players into the game a lot more with their speed and trickery, especially from the likes of Olatan and Tosin. Oloko is a young player who's coming into this because Steve Mooney looks like he has an injury, which is a bit of a shame because he's an experienced striker who will be able to lead their line properly in this game. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, they have some threats as well with Oru and Roche, who will come forward from fullback to help support the attack. So it's going to be a very interesting game all in all. And we are close to kickoff here. I can see the lineups already. Things are close to happening here. But look, let's not forget, people, there are still some more games to happen. Tonight, we are going to see Nigeria, the Super Eagles, taking on Mozambique in the next set of last 16 games. And then we are going to see, we're also going to see tomorrow, obviously, as I mentioned before, against Congo in the final set of fixtures in the last 16. We'll see Ivory Coast take on Burkina Faso. It's going to be interesting. I cannot wait. Players are ready to go very soon. And let's get into it. Let me just. Well, let's see. Let's see. It's going to be a good game. The midfield battle is going to be a big one here. And I have a feeling that the Benin midfield will overpower the Egyptian midfield. Their physicality, their energy will overpower them. And I'll make a slight prediction. I think, I think that Benin will get a shock win here. I think they get a shock win here, man. I think they get a shock win here. 1-0, hard battle game. Because it's going to be close, I think. And it's also going to be interesting how it's going to be refereed. Will the referee be strong here and not give away too many yellow cards, like how it kind of ruined the game, kind of, for Mali and Tunisia? That game was refereed very poorly, I think. And then it kind of got better towards the end, but we'll see. We will see. Kickoff should be here. I'm going to refresh my feed just to make sure that we're not kicking off. See, we've kicked off already, Rav. We've kicked off already, mate. I'm here, man. All right, all right. Here's Dijanu, Verdon. Here's Tijani, goes long towards Olotan on that left hand side. So they're saying Steve Mooney was ill. That's why he's not playing. Here's Verdon. Here's Oru. And a Loco taken down there already. I think that is Mohammed Hamdi with the foul. And that's interesting. That was a very physical tackle there from Hamdi. So we'll see. Are they gonna play that game? Are they gonna play that game, which is interesting? Here's Doku. Hmm. Here's Trezeguet. Here's El Shanawi. Here's Hamdi. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I don't know what happened there. Here's Doku. He's gonna take control of the ball and he gets fouled by Atia. Here's Verdon. Verdon just clears up field towards Oloko. Here's De Almeida forward. Here he comes again. Olatan just trying to get some space. Here's Mo Salah. Dribbles past three. Just keeps the ball. Mo Salah just keeping the ball. Here's breaks down. Verdon just clears the ball. Rabia heads the ball out for a throw in to Benin. Verdon. Dejanu hits it forward towards Doku, but now picked up by Mohamed Hani. Hamdi, sorry. Here's Hamdi Fati. Here's Yasser Ibrahim for Egypt now. Mohamed Hani. It's Trezeguet. It's Trezeguet again. Back to Yasser Ibrahim. Here's Hamdi Fati. And Rami Rabia. Here was Atia. Trezeguet. Good spell of possession here for Egypt. Benin just win the ball back here. They come on the counter attack. There's a ball over the top now. Ooh, towards tossing. Just bobbles between two defenders. Yasser Ibrahim just down. This is the danger. They've got tricky customers and quick forwards, Benin. So that's the counter attack that they can do and really affect the Egyptians. I think that's why I feel like they can create a shock here because that forward line is very quick. Here's Yasser Ibrahim, Trezeguet into Mo Salah, trying to find Omar Mamouche there, but just picking up. Oh, nearly giving the ball away. De Almeida, Verdon. Here's De Almeida, goes long towards Olatan. Here's Roche, cross into the box, unable to catch somebody. Here's Hassane. They go wide to Roche into Olatan in the box now. Can he cross? Just trips over his own feet. Here's tossing. Here come Benin again. It's a ball out wide to Oru. The cross headed away. And here come Egypt. And Marmouche, he's in. Can he get the goal? No, good save. Wow, the keeper, Danjanu, just sticks his legs and just intercepts the ball. Wow. It's a very high line from Benin. That was a chance there for Egypt. Danjanu did very well just to put himself between the ball and the man and come away with the ball. Throw into Egypt. Here's Trezeguet. Atio. Here's Mohamed Hani. Cross from Trezeguet. And Egypt putting some pressure on Rabia into Trezeguet. And Olatan just picks the ball up. And they'll clear Benin. It's been a bit of a chaotic start here between these two sides. I knew this would be a competitive game. Some people might not be wanting to watch this run right now. Maybe it's because it's a bit too early in the day for them. But trust me, the way these two teams are is definitely going to be something different. It's going to be an entertaining game as we've seen through these first 10 minutes. Here's Mohamed Hamdi back to Fatty. Trezeguet picking up that free roll. So I think this suits him a lot better. There's a ball into Marmoush. And he nearly went out of play. Hamdi just saves it. Here's Trezeguet. Ooh, good flick on. And Danjinu. And it's a corner. Oh, offside. Offside there. Hamdi. Yeah, Mohamed Hamdi offside. And it's going to be a free kick to Benin. Danjinu will take. Long ball towards Olatan. Unable to keep that in after the kind of heavy touch off of him. Here's the Almeida. Here's a Loco. Rabbi has gone down, holding the back of his head. That was an accident. I don't know why he went down the way that he did. But a Loco nearly found himself some change to try and go towards the box, but loses out to Rami Rabia. And Egypt start again. Here's Rabia on the ball. They lose. Did they lose the ball? They do. Here's Benin now. Doku with the trying to get the ball in behind, but it's handball. It's handball, I think, by Rabia. Yeah, Rabia was booked for the intentional handball. Yeah, come on. What the hell was that, Rabia? Why did he do that? That's silly from him. Because now you've been booked early on in the game, and down your side you have a tricky winger in a loco. You might be in trouble. He might be in trouble. Rami Rabia has been booked now, and that's a free kick to Benin. All the time to take. It's a chance here for Benin. Just need a good delivery though. Olatan steps up, takes the free kick, and headed away. Adele heads it away. Here's Diameda. So that's Hassane. Hassane now tried to cross the ball in and is blocked. It's blocked by Yasser Ibrahim. And Olatan takes the long throw into the box. Ooh, it's flicked on but headed away. Here's Verdon. Here's Olatan now. Here's Verdon. Here's Roche. Here's the Almeida. Olotan again. Ooh, Doku. That was a good. The Almeida trying to switch it. They keep it in. They go back. Here's Verdon. They'll reset Benin. Here's Uaru. Danjanu with a long ball towards Olotan. He loses it. Roche. Doku brings it down. Here's Roche into Hassane, trying to go down the sides towards tossing, but picked up by Egypt here. Good pressing by Benin. And it's a foul on tossing by Fatty. He doesn't believe it. Fatty just pulling Tossan. So free kick to. I think they're struggling with the physicality though. This is what I was saying. They're a very physical side. There's a lot of energy in the midfield. The forward areas, you don't know who to pick up because they're coming in all different angles. They got more fluidity because Steve Mooney is out with sickness. So they're struggling with it, I think. And Benin have settled down into the game. They just need to get some spells of possession and push forward into those areas. Because I think they have the beating of that defense of Egypt, especially with Rabia now being booked as well. All the time with the free kick, and it's straight into the hands of El Shanawi. So look at this. Ooh, it could have easily could have taken a touch of Trezeguet and went anywhere, but Egypt survive. Is Fatty, is Yasser Ibrahim, Trezeguet, is Yasser Ibrahim, is Trezeguet, and there's a foul. Trezeguet fouled by Hassani, and it's going to be it was a foul. Free kick to Egypt. They take it. His Adele tried to find Mo Salah in behind, unable to do so. Here's Hassani. Here's Verdon. Here's Uru. He gets fouled there by Mohamed Hamdi. Sorry, that was Adele that fouled him. There's a long ball. Here's Adele out to Mohamed Hamdi. Here's Uru, picks the ball up, wants to go long in behind. And here's a loco now. He comes inside. There's a foul. That's what I was talking about. There is change in behind this Egyptian defense. Benin's forward line are fluid. They're quick. They're tricky customers. And you could see this right there. Loco just does a bit too much with the touch on the inside. The ball goes away from him, and unfortunately, he fouls Fatty. But this is a warning sign for Egypt. This Benin side have quickness in their front line, and that's where they're going to find a challenge. It's about that midfield battle. Can they withstand the physicality and energy in the midfield there to be able to withstand this game? I think that's where I think the keys are. Here's Adele in behind. Here's Mohamed Hamdi. Ooh, ooh, and cleared away. Cleared away by Verdon. That was a chance there for Egypt. They're getting behind. Mohamed Hamdi crosses the ball in. Marmoush and Mo Salah unable to get a touch on the ball to steer it towards net. Verdon clearing kind of off the line. Here's Trezeguet. Here's Mohamed Hani. Can he get a cross in? It's a good cross. Oh, Dan Ginu just comes out and punches away. Here's Trezeguet unable to do so. Here's Hani. Here's Hani. Here's Mo Salah. Takes a shot and blocks. Olatan clears away. Here's Tosin. And he gets fouled. He gets fouled. Frantic and chaotic here. So Mo Salah didn't get a touch. And then Mamouche does get a touch and then cleared away by Roche. That was a chance there for Egypt. And Danjunu with the punch away on that second attempt into the box. Boy, it's all kicked off already. Here's Roche. Here's Di Almeida. Verdon. Here's Uru. Here's Rabia now. Here's Atia. Here's Yasser Ibrahim. Here's Atia. Adele. Here's Rabia. Adele. Mo Salah. Doku following him. Here's Fatih. Here's Rabia. Here's Atia. Yasser Ibrahim. And it goes out of play for a Benin throw. And here's Oloko. Oloko trying to get forward. Mo Salah fouled there by Di Almeida. Free kick to Egypt. Here's Mohamed Hani. Yasser Ibrahim. Atia. Offside. Marmouche. So it's going to be a free kick to Benin. He's a bit frustrated, Marmouche. They're not moving the ball quick enough to try and get through the low block of Benin. Here's Roche. Referee says play on. Here's Mo Salah. He gets tackled there well. Marmoush gets in behind Tajani, clears away, gets away from Tajani. Gonna try and go himself, but Hassane just gets away. Doku. Here's Hassane. Tajani just clears up field. Here's Olatan. And Benin get upfield. They're gonna go. They tried to go quickly. Roche will take this throw in. 25 minutes gone. It's been a bit of action in front of goal for both of these sides. I think Egypt have come closest with that chance for Marmoush, which was kind of cleared away um, past the keeper, nearly on the goal line by Verdon. But apart from that, I think it's been a very even game. We have one team operating in a low block, Benin, trying to hit them on the counter attack, with Egypt pushing forward with a lot of possession, but in front of that defense, unable to do what they need to do. And I believe so Olatan has been booked for an elbow on Ibrahim Yasser. I need to see this again. Was it a yellow card? It's not a yellow card. Like he didn't try and elbow him. He went up leverage. You know, when you try and jump for the ball for a header, you have to leverage yourself with your arms, and he's booked him for that. So that's not good for Olatan. Here's Rabia, Marmouche. Here's Marmouche picking up the ball from deep. What can he do? Gets away from his marker, and they lose it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Watching from India, you know. Big up yourself, man. Appreciate you for coming through, man. Make sure you're hitting the like button and subscribe button as well if you're new. Big up yourself, man. And here come Benin. Here's tossing. What can he do? Ooh. But they pick the ball up again. Here's Roche into Hassane for Benin. And now they slow it down to Jani. Here's De Almeida. Back to Verdon. Here comes Oru. Here's De Almeida. Back to Verdon. Now it's time for Benin to push forward. They're stepping forward. Here's Roche. Hassane. De Almeida. It's a bad tackle there. That's a foul. Atia fouled Hassane, and he's been booked here as well now. Yellow cards are starting to get flashed out now by the referee. And Mohamed Atia is now been booked. That's a bad tackle. That's a pretty bad tackle. That is. Free kick to Benin. De Almeida's still down, going to get some treatment now. There's a stoppage in the game. I think when you look at this first half, it's been very interesting to see the battle between these two teams. As I mentioned before, the midfield battle is very, very important towards how these teams actually move forward in attack and how they defend too. Um, Egypt were pressing forward. They weren't moving the ball quick enough to get through that low block of Benin. Benin defended very, very resolutely, very compactly. Um, but you can see that they believe in their forwards and the quickness that they have. Olatan on one side, Oloko on the other side, and tossing through the middle, that they can get in behind the back three of Egypt. They haven't been able to do it just yet, but if they can get the passes right, they can do so. Marmouche has been frustrated, coming deep to try and get involved in the play because he's isolated up front. And I think this is what Ahmed Hassan um, needs to change. Hossam Hassan needs to change. He needs to put a proper striker up front for Egypt, and then allow Marmoush to have that floating kind of operating role in the number 10, so he can pick the ball up in different areas and pull that defense of Benin apart. He hasn't been able to do it yet, and I think this is going to be interesting to see what happens. Looks like there's going to be a change for Benin. So Tosin is coming off. So Tosin is coming off. This is a big blow for Benin. He's disappointed, and Dosu's gonna come on. Uh, that's a shame. So Tosin has come off, and Dosu will come on. Ball goes towards Aloko. Hamdi just clears it off of Aloko. They won't allow them to make the change though, just yet. Is Tajani going all the way back to Danjanu. He clears long, and now they can make the change. So obviously Tosin has come off. Looks like he had a hamstring injury that was maybe aggravated, and Dosu comes on. I haven't seen him in this tournament, so I wonder what he has to offer. Does he have a similar type of style of play as Tosin up front, quick, can get in behind? Let's see what he has to offer. Hopefully, he does the same job. It's a double blow now for Benin. Steve Mooney, um, their regular striker, has been out with has come out of this game, or did was unable to join the bench because of sickness. And now Tosin, who was leading the line, is now injured after 32 minutes, replaced by Dosu. That's a good ball. Ooh, Adele into the box for Egypt. Cross, and should be gathered by Danjanu, and he picks the ball out of the sky, and they go long. Roche, here's Doku, keeps the ball here. They keep the ball. Here's Diameda. Sorry, Hassane. Here's Diameda. And Tajani wants to slow things down. Gives it to Diameda. He goes wide towards Olotan. Sorry, this is Dosu. Ooh, there's a chance there. There's a big chance there. Here's Mo Salah. Here's Doku now for Benin. Diameda, Doku. Just too relaxed. And now, and Verdon just goes back to Danjunu and goal. Here's Diameda, and Olatan is down. Here's Mo Salah. Tries to get the ball in behind to Trezeguet. Here's Doku trying to find a loco on that right hand side. There's the turn by Trezeguet. Here's Mo Salah. I don't know what he was trying to do there. Here's Mohamed Handi. Here's Adele. Hamdi. Oru just with the tackle there. And here's Adele. for Egypt. They're pushing forward now. Here's Rabia. Here's Yasser Ibrahim for Egypt. Over to Atia. Here's Trezeguet picking the ball up here. Hamdi. Adele comes inside, goes outside, tried to cross the ball towards Mo Salah, but into the hands of Danjanu in the goal. Here's Verdon trying to find a local early. He comes inside. He loses the ball here, but picked up by Asane. Here's Diameda. Here's Oru coming forward. They do. Here's Dosu. Here's Oru in the box. He pulls it back, but nobody was there. That was a chance for Benin there. Just on a rare attack. And now here comes Mamouche. Just pushed away by Tejani, but it was too soft. It was too soft. Get up. It was too soft. Mamouche went down too easily there. Tejani just put a hand on his shoulder and he went down. Here's Verdon. Doku now. Here's Doku again. Here's Ahmed Hani. Here's Yasser Ibrahim now as Egypt look to build from the back. Here's Rabia. I think they've gone 4-3-3 again. Egypt rather than the back three with the five across midfield because Trezeguet is picking up positions now on the left hand side forward position. Here's Mo Salah. Goes back to Yasser Ibrahim. Here's Fatih. Here's Adele. Here's Atia. Trying to find Hani going in behind there. Here's Asane. Doku keeps the ball somehow. I don't even know how he's kept this ball. How has he kept this ball? I have no idea. Oh my days. Oh my days. They've given a free kick after Doku just kind of stretches there and catches Hani after some great work to keep the ball after potentially giving it away several times. He gets the ball first. It's a free kick to Egypt. Marmouche and Salah over it. Let's see what type of ball they can get into the box here. Mo Salah takes into the box and cleared away. Adele with the ball, and that goes out of play for a goal kick to Benin. It's been a good first half of football. I think it's been very entertaining. It's been a chess match. Once again, once you get into the knockout stages of competitions, it is a chess match. And both teams are giving a good account of themselves. I just think there's a lack of quality. I think from both teams going forward. To be totally honest, Egypt just shading it. I think, but here we are. Danjanu with the long kick forward. Here's the Almeida with a header. Is that not? Referee says play on. That's a head injury. You have to stop it. Here's Olatan. Here's Doku. Bruv, why didn't the referee stop this? But why didn't the referee stop this? I don't understand. So Aloko gets hit in the head by Hamdi. But like, bro, the referee would have been watching that and he didn't stop it. He should have just stopped it. Eesh. Hamdi just giving Aloko a boot to the head. Then he went down holding the back of his knee. I don't know what happened there, but it looks like they're gonna change. They want a change. So we have a stoppage, obviously. The high boot by Amdi on a loco. They're looking for VAR though. Gerhard Raw is saying VAR. I don't think there's a VAR in this. This is kind of a natural thing. Both players. A loco. I don't know if he's still down. I don't know what's going to happen here. They better not take it to VAR because I don't think it's a VAR decision needed. Hey, nah. Hey, Uncle is doing voodoo right now. You know about Benin. You know. It looks like there's going to be a substitution here because Hamdi went down holding the back of his knee after the high boot that hit a loco in the face. I, we still can't see what's going on because they're showing fans, but he's down on the ground. He's going on a stretcher. Wow. Yeah, it looks quite bad. It looks quite bad. Big up to Durfres. Um, I don't think it's a straight red, and he's going off anyway. He's actually going off. He's injured. Um, Hamdi. He's going off. It looks like quite a bad injury, to be fair. They're getting the stretcher and everything. So, but this is a normal type of thing that happens that we see in football sometimes. Head and foot comes together sometimes when a player's trying to get the head on the ball and the player's trying to clear it. Like it happens. I don't think it's a red at all. It usually just kind of just we just kind of move on. Players get their treatment and then we move on. It's just an accidental type of thing. But if they take it to VAR, I'll be quite surprised. Um, but a loco seems fine. No cut or anything like that. Looks like he's been looked after by the medical staff. So all good. Aye. Eee. So he twisted his knee, it looks like. Oh, that's a shame, man. Hamdi, he's going off. You never want to see players get serious injuries to their knee, man. So he's going off now. Fatu is going to come on in his place. It's a shame. That's a shame. He's got his he's on the stretcher. He's been taken away. Fatu comes on. That's a shame, man. He popped his knee. Maybe his foot got caught in the turf after like the kick. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. We have 5 minutes of added time here. We might get a little bit more. We might get ourselves a little bit more of added time. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Um, but we've restarted here. Egypt trying to go forward now, and Tijani gets a head ball. Will he be able to keep it out? For oof. Tijani was just trying to keep it from being a corner after the ball came off of his head. Egypt will get a throw. Takes a bit of a slip. Cleared away um by Hassane. Um, Ball forward towards Marmoush. Here's Hassane, cleared by Roche. Up towards Dosu. Mohamed Mo Salah picking up. Goes back towards Fati. Here's Rabia. Here's Fatu. Rabia. To ball into Mo Salah, getting held by Roche. And they try to go forward between Dosu and Olatan. Hani with the throw. Here's Yasser Ibrahim. Here's Fati. Here's Rabia now. Fatu. Here's Adele. Here's Fati. Here's Fati. Here's Rabia. Here's Adele. Egypt pushing forward to try and get their last attack in. Mo Salah tried to feed Trezeguet, but unable to do so. A bit of a mix-up between Dosu and Roche there. Here's Fati to Rabia to Adele. They give it away now. And here comes Dosu now. Ooh. Fati just getting the ball away, getting himself between Dosu and the goalkeeper, El Shinawi, who was coming back. And here's Danjanu, cleared up field. Approaching the final 30 seconds of this first half. Here's Adele. Here's Rabia. Here's Atia. Goes wide to Hani. Here's Hani. cross, no one in the box, cleared away by Verdon. Here's Mo Salah. Oh, nice for Mo Salah trying to get away. Mo Salah was trying to dribble past four, couldn't do anything. And there we are, half time between these two sides is 0-0. It is 0-0 between Egypt and Benin. I think it's been an entertaining first half. As I mentioned before, it was going to be a bit of a battle because that forward line for Benin, very quick, tricky customers, can get in behind. And I think one thing I've noticed is Egypt have been oscillating between a back three and a back four. So they have their three central defenders. It looks as if, I mean, obviously it's Yasser Ibrahim and Rabia who are central defenders, but Fatih, who's a midfield player, is also dropping in there at times when they're building up. And you could sense there's been frustration from Mamouche, from Trezeguet, and from Mo Salah specifically because they want their guys in the midfield and the defenders to move the ball quicker. They haven't been able to do so in this first half. They got in behind once, Marmouche with a shot after a pullback from Hamdi, who unfortunately went off with an injury. He hits the ball. It didn't get enough power on the ball to take it towards goal. It was cleared away by Verdon just off the line. As for Benin, they haven't really been able to get in behind. Oloko got in behind one time. And then Olatan on the other side got in behind, but unable to find that final pass towards somebody free on the edge of the box or in the center of the box. As I mentioned, there was a challenge from Mohamed Hamdi on Oloko. He gets a kick in the head. He goes down. He was okay, but it looks as if there's a very serious knee injury for Mohamed Hamdi. He goes off, and Fatu replaces him in the game. It's all to play for in this second half, to be honest with you. I think what changes can be made. Ultimately, I don't think that the kind of false nine, free roaming nine role for Mamouche works. I don't think he's a striker. He probably needs to just step back into the 10. They maybe need to change it a little bit and put a proper striker up front. Mustafa Mohammed should be up front. It worked against Zimbabwe when they made that change. It really should be happening in this game if they want to win this game, to be honest. Now, Dosu has come on because of an injury, hamstring injury, it looks like, for Tosin for Benin. And I don't know what Dosu has to offer. I think he's a diminutive player. Like, he's going to be quick across the ground, but does he have the finishing touch? Can he link play? That's something that we need to be able to see because they've lost Steve Mooney, who I think perfectly fit. When you have that kind of target man, somebody that can hold the ball up and bring others into play in Steve Mooney, and you've got those wide players that are tricky customers and they can also get in behind, cross balls into you. You kind of lose that with Steve Mooney. And Tosin is also somebody that you've lost a lot of pace in that front line. Can Dosu replace that, what they've lost from Tosin's injury? I don't know. But let's see. Let's see in the second half what is going to happen. Big up to everybody who's watching right now, wherever you're watching right now. If you're on Pros Only Sports YouTube, make sure you're hitting that like button and subscribe button if you're new. And if you're on X, make sure you're watching it carefully. Make sure you like that video, retweet the broadcast, and follow the account Pros Only Sports on X, Instagram, and on TikTok as well. Big up to everybody who's watching. Don't forget, we have another game tonight. Nigeria taking on Mozambique, 7 p.m. kickoff UK time. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Man, them should be here for that. Should be a very entertaining game because Mozambique, they've shown that they are not pushovers in this tournament. They qualified for the last 16 for the first time in their history. They got their first win at Afcon a couple of Sundays ago against Gabon. So it's all to play for in that tie. Winner of that tie will play the winners of, I think it's the winners of the Algeria and Congo. They're on that side of the draw, so that'd be very interesting going into the quarterfinals. Winner of this tie here will face one of either Ivory Coast or of Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso. That is it. Big up to man like Kennedy in the building. My name's Roland, though, bro. I'm not Ronald. My name's Roland. Roland. But big up yourself for coming through. How are you feeling about Amarin Saki news? I didn't want him as the manager in the first place. So I said it in October 2024 now, when they appointed him, that he wouldn't be the coach. He wouldn't be able to survive the pressure of being a Manchester United manager. The only manager, if you wanted to go young, the only manager that you could bring in that could survive the pressure of being a Manchester United manager is Julian Nagelsmann, who's the current Germany coach. If you bring him in, because he's already been the manager at Bayern Munich and Germany so young, he can easily come into the Manchester United job with all the pressure that comes from that, and you can grow with him. They didn't do it. They went with Amorim. It's ended how it's ended. You can't speak out against your employers, and create friction between yourself and your sporting director. But I don't blame him because there wasn't an alignment between the sporting director, um, you know, there was an alignment between the sporting director and the head coach. If you don't have alignment, this is what happens. We're having mixed results. They've made recruitment decisions that don't necessarily fit what he needs, and now you end up with a managerial departure and having to go back to square one. Now, I'm actually okay with the fact that we're back at square one because there is a footballing structure at Manchester United. It's the first time we've seen it ever at the club. So it's always going to be teething problems. And I think Darren Fletcher coming in as a kind of a stopgap for now should be interesting. They're saying that they won't make an appointment probably until the summer, which is nice for me. We have half the season left. It's 19 games, 18 games left. Let Darren Fletcher kind of see it out with the remit being get us back into Europe and allow alignment to happen on the footballing side, the recruitment side, so that they know what manager that they want and try and pursue that manager and what players that manager will most likely work with when they come in. And then that's it. That's the easiest thing. But as for him, he came out in that press conference acting like he's got enough credit in the bank to be able to speak how he wants to speak. You can't do that. You've barely won games in your tenure. It's been 18 months. You've barely done anything really to change things. The only reason why we're sixth right now is because this season has been very bad. But across the board, there's been a lot of teams that have dropped so many points from so many different positions. So we'll see what happens. In regards to that. Big up yourself, Kennedy, for coming through. Appreciate you coming through as well. Nigeria will be through, you think? I don't know. We'll see. We will see. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be that easy of a game, but we'll see. Durf is saying, I feels like Egypt are playing in Man U colours and I'm playing like a Man U team in this game. Egypt play better than us, bro. We're not good. We're not a good team. That's all I'll say. We're not a good team. But let's see what Egypt can do in the second half to try and get back into this game or to try and get ahead in this game. They are a very tough team to break down. Egypt, defensively, they're very solid. They've only conceded one goal in this tournament. So it's going to take a lot for a team to beat them. And so I can see this game going extra time, penalties, potentially, because Benin are not that bad. They conceded a lot of goals against Senegal, but it's Senegal. Senegal are a very good side. So they've got a lot of attacking talent. So we'll see what happens. But it is what it is. She said, I know. Yeah, man, I'm here, man. I'm hate watching. I have to hate watch, man. But yeah, we'll see what happens in that game. It's gonna be tough though. Once you get to the last 16, Morocco, they didn't go out and beat Tanzania. That was their first time making it through to the knockout stages of African Cup of Nations, and it was a tough game for them. They're the hosts. Everyone's expecting them to beat Tanzania. They didn't do it, and from what I've watched of Mozambique, this competition, they're going to be tricky customers to beat. They have an injury though. I don't know if he's going to be able to come back into the game. What's his name? Diego Kalila, the right back for, is he right back or left back for Mozambique? He went off injured in that game. So we'll see in the game against, was it Ivory? No, it was against Cameroon in their group game. So we'll see if he returns because they'll lose something if he's not in the team. But they got a solid team, man. They got a solid team. We'll see what happens and whatnot. Cool KG of Nigeria, because I ain't got his number though. I might have to get his number though. But everyone knows, man. Hey, but let's see, man. They better win this Afcon. That's all I have to say. If they don't win this Afcon, it's very, very shameful. That's all I'll say. That is all I'll say. Durf saying Glasner can critique the board at Palace because he won the FA Cup, got us European football. The difference with Amram is that last season United got 15th and lost out on European football. That's true, man. Um, I don't know. I mean, it's a bit different. You're speaking about Palace compared to Manchester United. It's a little bit different. Like Glasner has overperformed at Palace, so he's obviously thinking, yeah, we've overperformed. You got to give me some players. Obviously, there was a bit of I don't know hesitancy by your board to sanction any deals because you didn't know until really late in the summer if you were going to be playing Europa League football or Conference League football. You see what I mean? And because of the whole thing with Forest and all of that type of stuff, so obviously those represent big changes in terms of finances, right? Like if you're in the Europa League, you're going to earn more money as a club than you are in the Conference League. So you know, so things are a little bit different. Like I understand where you're coming from. Like Amram hasn't got a leg to stand on when you look at what his record is at Manchester United. Um, Whereas with Palace, you've got a manager who's overperformed expectations quite remarkably and is expecting more. But then it's like, what? How much more are you really expecting? Like, I don't think Palace don't shop in the same windows as Manchester United, so you're not going to get those kind of level of players. You're going to get players. You're going to get young players that you're expected to develop, like the likes of Adam Wharton, for example. You're going to get some experienced players to come in, where let's say they were journeymen or they're kind of journeyman players, but the experience and you need that experience in your squad because you're missing it, you know. And most likely you're going to have players that have been at the club for a very long time, like the likes of Nathaniel Klein, for example. So it's a bit of a mixed bag at Palace. You're not gonna get everything that you want potentially if you're a manager. If you're most likely gonna have to move on to another club where there's more resources available if you're going to be, complaining about what you're getting at Palace. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit of a mixed bag for me. Like he can critique them, but then the board are just going to always point to results at the end of the day. And your results have been good whilst he's been manager. Don't get me wrong. If he wants more, then it's probably a new job that he needs to be looking for because Palace are going to run how Palace are going to run. Your board have a certain wage structure, a certain budget that they're going to spend within, and they're not going to overspend within their budget because I'm old enough to remember even like 10, 15 years ago, Palace was nearly in administration at a certain point. So then they don't want to go through that kind of situation again where your club could be dissolved because you're making reckless spending decisions. So I think that's something that he doesn't necessarily understand because maybe he doesn't understand that history from before. Maybe maybe his eyes wasn't even there. He's just come into a club now where they've required a new manager and he's done and well overperformed his expectations. So as for Amarim, you can't call out your employers and expect nothing to happen. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, we're getting back to AFCON. Don't talk to me about Manchester United or any other club, bro. I don't care. Like, let them do what they need to do. The season's still alive. There's 18 games left. You can still get European football, even Champions League football. Who knows, man? Top 5 gets you it. So they're sick right now. Who knows, man? As long as they just do what they need to do. Anyway, the players are about to return onto the field of play. Egypt, Benin, here at Afcon. Winner of this tie heads into the quarterfinals to play on Saturday against one of either Burkina Faso or Ivory Coast. Should be a very interesting second half. I see this potentially going extra time, maybe penalties, because based on that first half, they're kind of evenly matched in a way. Everything is falling short in the final third of the pitch. So we'll see. We will see. Big up to everybody who's watching right now. Make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribe button as well if you're new on Pros Only Sports. And let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. This is the next set of fixtures that we have tonight. Obviously, second half here, Egypt, Benin. Then a little bit later on, it is Nigeria against Mozambique. It looks like there's going to be a change here for Egypt. I think Ashore potentially will be coming on here. But let's see. Let's see. The last of the Benin players to join on field. Egypt players have done a huddle on the middle of the pitch. They're ready to go. But let's see what happens here. I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen in the second half, to be honest with you, because Egypt playing with Marmoush up front just doesn't work, and it hasn't worked throughout this tournament. And Hossam Hassan has just kind of persisted with it, and it's just not helped them at all. As for Benin, for them to get further in this competition, they need to do a little bit more in the final third of the pitch. They just haven't done enough. They've scored, I think, 2 goals in this tournament. One goal in this tournament so far. So it's not good enough. 1 goal is not enough. Is they were able to, obviously they won their game against Botswana, and that's why they're here. I think as one of the best third place teams. Yeah, so 1 goal is not enough. They need to be able to score a little bit more. They're a bit shy in front of goal. So you've got a team that's only scored 1 goal in now 3.5 games, and you've got one team that's conceded only 1 goal in 3.5 games. It's probably going to end in a draw. And we're going to end up with extra time and maybe penalties as well. So we'll see how it goes. And we've already kicked off here. Free kick to Benin in this second half. Here's Verdon. Ball by to a Loco. Unable to get the touch to control it. El Shenawi to take the kick. Here's Rabia on a yellow card. This is Fatu. And he loses the ball, Rabia. Here's Dosu to try and cross the ball in. Here's Adele. Adele coming forward. Finds Mamouche. Can he get a cross in? And it's a goal kick. Danjani with a long kick upfield towards Aloko. He gets the head on the ball. It's Asane with a head into Rabia. There's a foul in the middle of. Well, referee says play on. Olatan went down in a bit of a heap. This referee is a bit mad, I don't understand what he's on. If there's a head injury, you have to look to stop the game. Brother, it's a foul. Ugh. Here's Rabia. Goes over to Yasser Ibrahim. Mamouche. Oh, that's a touch by Mamouche. He was on the floor. Here's Trezeguet. Here's Mamouche with the ball around the corner. That was a touch by Mamouche on the floor towards Trezeguet. Look at this. He slips. And just a good. Oh, that was nice for Mamouche. just to keep the ball alive towards Trezeguet. Tried to get the ball around the corner to Mo Salah, gets blocked off by Roche. Headed by Rabia. Here's Hani. Here's Atia now. Ball over the top towards Trezeguet, and Danjanu will pick it up. Here's Tijani. He gives it away to Adele, being tracked by Doku. Doku just picks the ball up and picks it off his pocket. Gets fouled by Adele. Ball goes forward. Cleared away by Egypt. Here they come again. Here's Hani. Comes inside. Will go wide to Trezeguet. Here's Trezeguet. Comes inside. Goes wide to Hani. Trying to get the cross in. Gets the cross in. Adele nearly got the header. Here's Fatu. Here's Rabia. Here's Fati. Egypt round the corner. That was Mo Salah. Round the corner is Fatu. Here's Adele. And it's a throw in. Sane just hitting the ball out of play. Doku just picking the ball up. And it's a foul on Fatu by Doku. And take it quickly. Here's Hamdi. Here's Hani. Here's Trezeguet. Roche just intercepting. Here's Hassane. Here's Olatan. Ball goes out of play. No. Here's Hassane. Tried to push it forward towards Dosu, but it was long, and his Rabia cleans up again. Here's Fati. Here's Yasser Ibrahim. Into Marmouche. Picks the ball up. Starts to drive. He's gone down, but ref says play on. Here's Verdon. Here's Olotan. Here's Doku. There's a bit of space now. Can he find a lock? No, he can't. He doesn't. Just too slow on the ball. Doku was trying, like he was just taking too long to play the pass into Oloko. Here's De Almeida. Here's Doku. So long ball towards Oloko. Marmouche went down quick, a bit easily. Referee said he'll book him the next time if he dives. Egypt restart the attack here. There's a ball. Here's Atia. Here's Fati. Yasser Ibrahim. Here's Atia again. Here's Fatty. Here's Mo Salah. He goes wide towards Hani. Penny Cross. Oof, cleared away by Olatan. And it's a corner to Egypt. Corner to Egypt. Olatan with some good defensive work by Benin there just to keep concentrated from the forward run of Hani. Salah with the corner. Hey, let's go! Rabia. Rabia on the center of the box. So Salah, oof, that's a save by Danjinu. Because it just spills Rabia. Oof. And it comes off Oru as well. Wow, that was a chance for Egypt there. That was a chance. Another corner here. Marmouche to take on the other side. Can Benin break here? Here they come. Here they come. Here's Benin. They need to get this right. Oh, that is so poor, man. This is the reason why they're not going to go far in this tournament because poor decision making lets them down again on the break. Here's Marmouche. Can't thread the ball through to Trezeguet. There's no belief in this Benin side moving into the final third, unfortunately. It's looking like a one chance, one goal because they've only scored one here. Here they come. Here's Latan. Ooh, tried to get the ball in behind towards Aloko. Here's Hani. And we have a stoppage. Trezeguet. See this angle. Oof. It's not a handball. Rabia is looking for a handball, but Uru and Danjanu combine to keep themselves alive in this game. I think this game goes extra time though. I don't think with a team because they don't score enough goals. Benin, they don't score enough goals. Benin, they've scored one goal in this tournament, and Egypt haven't scored many. They scored 3 goals in this tournament. So, but they conceded only one. So it's gonna be tight. We knew this was gonna be tight, but there's gonna be some changes now. Some changes are about to happen. Zizo and Ashore. Trezeguet's coming off. He's taking his boot off. He's felt something. He's hobbling off. Adele's coming off. Adele's come off. Zizo is on. And Trezeguet coming off for Ashore. Does Benin need to score if they don't concede? Yeah, Benin needs to score. Benin needs to score. If they want to win this game, they need to score. But if it just goes the way that it's going, where both teams are getting like half chances here and there, then it will come down to a big mistake or deflection, a penalty being conceded. That's what it will come down to if it's getting one in 90 minutes. Um, but Benin, they haven't been great going forward. They've lost two of their key attacking players, Steve Mounier and Tosin, to injury and sickness, respectively. So I don't think they have a lot going forward anyway, um, as it stands. So let's see what they can really do here in this final 30 minutes of the game. Here's Oru. Here's Dialmeida. Throw into Egypt. And Fatu will take. Here's Fatu. Cleared away by Verdon. Here's Rabia. Here's Fatu. And Verdon will pick this up again for Benin. They can move forward. It's Tajani. Goes wide to Oru. He goes back to Verdon. Goes long towards Dosu. Here's Ashore with a header. Gets fouled by Hassane. Egypt restart again. Here's Fatty. Pushing the ball forward now. Here's Yasser Ibrahim. Here's Zizo. Here's Atia. Here's Ashore. Atia again. Rabia. Fatty. Zizo. Over the top to Salah. Salah tried to just lift it over Tanjinu, but he grabs it in the air. It's a good ball. Mo Salah just trying to lift it over Danjinu as he's off his line, but not enough height on it. His Uru. De Almeida goes wide towards Roche. There's a lot of space here on the left hand side. What can Benin do? Breaks down. Here's a shore. But he lose it. Here's Dosu. Oh, that's a poor ball to a loco. Can you get a cross in? Pretty poor. There's nobody in the box. Here's Doku. Here's Tajani. Here's Oru. That's a nice ball inside. Oh! El Shenawi with the save. That was a chance there for Benin. That was a chance. El Shenawi's gone down with injury, and the game has been stopped. Let's have a look at this chance here. Oru with a great through ball in behind. Dosu gets the shot and is blocked away, saved by El Shenawi. And he's gone down holding his groin. He's down injured now. He's unable to continue here. I don't know. Well, he's up now. He's up now. Oh, so now he seems okay. He looks like he can continue. 25 minutes to go in this game. Here's Roche. Olatan. It's a throw in. Here's Asane. This is Zizo. Mamouche gets fouled there by Verdon. Egypt struggling to create in this game, which is what I thought would happen. It's a good defensive team, Benin. If you take that Senegalese game that they played aside, as handball by Dosu there. They haven't conceded much, so they're difficult to break down. It's a physical battle with Egypt trying to get in behind. They give it away. Here's Asane. Here's Doku. Trying to find a loco. Here's Oru. He gives it away. And now here's Zizo for Egypt. Here's Ashore. Gets in behind from gets past Verdon. Good tackle by Diarmeda. Corner. Zizu with it. And it's cleared away. And he nearly slipped and could have lost the ball there, but knocks it back to Ashore. Here's Fatu. Here's Zizo now. Trying to find the opening. Here's Ashore. Here's Hani. Hani 1-2 with Salah. Salah gets in behind. Gives it back to Hani. Pulls it back. Edge of the box is Atia. Goal! What a goal by Atia! Wow! Pull back by Mo Salah. And that's the breakthrough for Egypt. They lead by 1-0. What a move. What a move between Salah, Hani, pullback on the edge of the box, and Atia with an absolute strike into the top left-hand corner, but past Danjanu, who's been great in this game, and they lead by 1-0. Wow. Wow, wow. That is a good goal. Look at that. Boom. Finish. Finish. Finish by Atia. Look at that. Just side foots it. What a strike. There's the breakthrough. And as far as I'm concerned, Benin won't have enough to get back into this game. The only way they get back into this game is a set piece or something. They don't have enough going forward in the attack. But Egypt take the lead in this game. And an embrace by Atia and his manager, Hossam Hassan. It's a good finish by Atia, man. But yeah, there's a foul. Mo Salah getting fouled by Olatan. And that was a finish by Egypt. Here's Marmoush in behind. And Tijani just, and there's another corner. So corner to Egypt can extend the lead. Cross comes in and Danjanu picks it up. He moves it quickly. Here's Doku. It's not enough going forward. Here's a loco. He's in. Ooh, El Shanawi off his line quick just to pick the ball up and take it away from Aloko's feet. Maybe that's woken up the Benin side. And they give it away. They give away a throw in Egypt. Fatu. Benin are trying to move quickly. Here's Uru to De Almeida. Sorry, Hassane. He thought he was fouled there. Loco. Here's Verdon. Tejani. Here's Hassane. Olatan loses it. But here he goes. Here's Olatan into Uru. And it's a corner. This is what I said. A set piece puts them back into the game. You see the defenders have come forward. Verdon, Roche. Tajani's going to probably come forward. This is their way of getting back into the game, in my opinion. Here's Dosu. This is their way of getting back in the game. So a set piece. So they have to take these opportunities because they haven't really been able to get in behind. The referee is having a chat with players. But yeah, all their centre backs have come back, have come forward. Roche as well has come forward. Verdon and Tajani. Olotan with the corner. Yee, went through the box. Salah clears it. Here's Uru into Olotan. And here's Aloko. Cross. And Rabia with a block and it's out for a corner. This is where the pressure is telling. Corner will come in again, I think, by Olotan. Some change is about to happen. Olotan. Corner cleared away by Salah. Here's a door. Benin will pick it up again. Here's Doku. They may have to take him off because I think he's been very poor in this game. He's been supposed to be pushing the ball forward, and he's been probably the worst of the three in the midfield. Hassane, De Almeida, who are more defensive minded players. De Almeida. Here's Hassane now. He will be patient. Is Verdon is going to switch it wide towards his defensive partner in Roche. Trying to turn Roche. And he goes out for a throw in. Hassane. Here's Verdon again. Cleared away. Here's Dosu winning the ball back. Goes back to Verdon. It's two players ready to come on for Benin to try and change things in their favor. Here's Olotan. Gonna go wide towards Oru. Here's Dosu. Unable to gather the ball and control it. Here's Fatu. Here's Oru. Here's Olotan. Ashore gonna go over the top to Marmouche. He's gonna go out of play. It's too much on the ball from Ashore. Tessalimi coming on. Doku, yeah, Doku off. He's been poor. He's been very poor. Doku. Tessalimi coming on in his place. And Atajiku and De Almeida off for Atajiku. It's a ball over to Aloko. Touch by Aloko. Into Dosu. Here's Aloko. Here's Atajiku. He turns. Here's Uru. Cleared away by Fatu. Here's Uru. Over to Verdon. Here's Olotan. It's going to go to Tessalimi. Here come Egypt. Marmouche. Into Zizo. Cleared away by Verdon. Egypt take the throw. Here's Zizo. Atia, the goal scorer. Here's Ashore. Hani. Mo Salah. Ashore. He didn't give it away. Ooh, that's a foul. And it's a yellow card for Fatty. Lucky. So they give the ball away. And Olotan was pushing forward there. Gets fouled by Fatty and he's been booked. It's not a red card though, because Rabia is there on the cover. That's poor. Benin restart. Here's Tijani. He's gonna go wide towards Uru. There's a foul there. And it's a corner, I guess. Corner. Because Uru checks the ball down. Loco gets fouled by Fatu. Eesh. Fati just clears the ball out for a corner. That's pretty bad. Corner to Benin. Let's see. All the time with the corner. Oof. Here's Hassane. And oof, that was a chance. Tessalimi with the cross. And Fatu just clears it away for a corner. It's a chance here for Benin in this game. They can get one. Those deliveries into the box are big. Here's another one from Olatan. Comes through his Tessalimi. Can he get space to shoot? Oh, he just scuffs the shot. He scuffs the shot. Sane goes all the way back to the keeper. Keeper goes long. Danjinu. Roche just trying to. And there's a foul by Roche on a shore. Free kick to Egypt here. El Shanawi with the long kick towards Zizo. Oru with the header. It's nice from a loco. He gives it away. Zizo keeping the ball. Goes back to El Shanawi. That's a poor kick from El Shanawi. Hey, hey. Ooh, it's a charge of Benin. They're playing with fire, Egypt here. Ah, go, go, oh, go, go, Benin. They're back in the game. They're back in the game. Egypt playing with fire. Egypt playing with fire. And they concede. Hey, hey, chaos. Hey, Egypt have been relaxed and playing with fire. Poor passes. And that started from a poor kick. A poor kick from El Shanawi in the goal. Let's have a look at this again. Gives the ball away. Here's Aloko into Dosu. Olatan gets across, flicks off of Fatu. He tries to save it and then boom. I think it's Olatan in there, right? No, it's Dosu. Dosu right in there. Dosu, wow. Wow. It starts from El Shanawi. Fatu deflects it. He saves it off the line, but it's right in the path of Dosu. And here we are. Here we are. Right there on the line, Dosu to equalize. And now Egypt, they're finding trouble here. Chaos, Sarah Afcon 2025. Let's go. Benin, since they went down, they have pushed forward. They have not given up. And here they go. Can they push for a winner now? Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, big up. See. Yeah. This is what I wanted. Here's Mo Salah in the box. A shot with a shot. Well, wayward. This is what I wanted to see. Oi, oi, mad thing. Egypt are in trouble. They've not looked good in this game. They've not looked good in this game. Had some injuries to some players. It's not looking good. I need this. I need this. Oi. Yes. Oi. Roche has gone down. Seems okay. He gets up. Oi, oi. That was a mad passage of play there. Poor kick out by El Shinawi. Olatan picks it up, crosses, deflects off of Fatu, cleared off the line from El Shinawi and into the path of Dosu, who's on the line to just steer it home. And here comes ooh, Rabia nearly giving it away. Rabia is on a yellow card, by the way. He has to be very careful. Very careful. Woo. Here's Hani to take the throw in for Egypt. They have to push forward. They can't really calm down. They actually have to push forward. Good header from Tijani. Here's Hani. Mo Salah. Here is Atia, the goal scorer, the opening goal. Here's Ashur. Here's Fatu over the top to Zizo. Gets blocked, and it's a corner. Oh, it's a goal kick. Ooh, good defending by Benin. It's a goal kick. It's a goal kick. Comes off of Zizo last. Mamouche complaining about his shirt getting held. Bro, you can't be complaining, man. This team has been dared to be beaten, and you didn't beat them. This game is going penalties, though. If Benin for somehow win this game in regulation time, I'll be like so surprised. But this is going penalties. It's going penalties. Atajiku just picking the ball up. The referee say play on. He doesn't care about a show on the ground. Here they come. Here they come. Here they come. Hey, hey. Eee. Eee. The pace. They don't like the pace. That back line of Egypt. I said this in the beginning. Benin's forward line is full of pace. And those balls in behind can be problems for that defense. Here's Hani now. Here's Fatih. Here's Ashur. Rabia will pick the ball up here. 2 minutes plus added time to go in this game. It looks like we're heading to extra time here because Egypt, they're gonna calm it down. Maybe they'll get one more opportunity, but they're gonna calm it down after the very lax way that they tried to end this game, thinking that they'd won it with the goal from Atia. Here's a good ball over the top. Here's Mo Salah. He's in the box. He's gonna shoot. Oh, straight at Danjinu. When it's probably a better one if you play the ball across to Marmouche. That was an opportunity there for Egypt. Here's Atajiku with a long ball towards Aloko, but into the hands of El Shanawi. Tame shot. Tame shot for Salah. Hey! Here's Rabia. Here's Ashur. Here's Atia. Ashur. We nearly got him behind. Here's Fatu. It's a Benin player down. Hey! 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 Dosu fighting with Hossam Hassan, with Atia, and a short. Looks like we're gonna have there's a player down for Benin. I don't know who it is. I want to see who's down. Who is down? I don't know who's down for Benin. That's a finish by Atia, though. Bro, this is a mad goal, though. Said now he keeps it off his line, but not enough. Hey, hey, Benin. I think it was the uncle that was doing voodoo. It had to be, bruv. Because that was a mad goal. Yo, yo. Somebody's on the stretcher, bro. Who is on the stretcher? 7 minutes of added time, but we're already into 1 minute already. It's like they forgot. We're already in a minute in, so they better add an extra minute on top of this, you know. Amusu is coming on, and who's that coming off? Oh, it's a lot more. Uh, Mamouche goes down. Referee says play on. Amusu is on for a loco. This is heading to extra time, people. So we still got 30 minutes plus penalties. Let's see what happens. There's a ball over the top. Yee, Salah couldn't get it down. His Tessalami. Tessalimi, sorry. Is Atia long ball. Yee, is Atajiku. Dosu keeps the ball. Amusu trying to keep it alive. Verdon with the header. Egypt pick it up. Here's Mo Salah. Here's Fati out to Hani. Fati. Shaw. Here's Mo Salah. Here's Fati. Ball into Marmoush. Here's Mo Salah. Egypt patiently trying to build here, but I think they're just trying to settle themselves down after that shocking way to equalize. They want to push for the win, but they're scared of this pacing behind. They don't want to lose the ball either. Here's Ashore. Here's Mo Salah. More ball into the box. And it just goes all the way through. Fatu skips off the turf, and it's a goal kick. We got 3.5 minutes, I think, left to add it onto this. Boy, I know that this was going to be a tight game, but I didn't think that it was going to end up like this. What a finish that we're having to this game. This is what we're here for. Afcon, chaos. That's all we need. They're trying forward Benny one. Or can they get one opportunity to end this game? Because that would be a shock. If Benin were able to beat Egypt, 7-time champions, and go through to the last 8, whew, what a story that would be. Here come Verdon. This is this is that one. This is that one. Hey, big up Drizzly, bro. They became too relaxed. It's like after they scored, they were like, "Oh, we've won this game," and they tried to see it out essentially. But a lack of concentration. They were giving the ball away a bit too much in sloppy areas, and then the keeper gives the ball away, and that kicks off the whole chain of events that sees them conceding the goal because of his mistake, his lack of concentration. So, nah, they didn't start defending. They've lost concentration. I don't know. They just thought that they've won this game, and sometimes it's that arrogance that can take you there. But here we go. Let's see. Zizo with the ball forward towards Marmouche. He's not going to get there ahead of Tijani. Danjinu, the keeper, has the ball, and Tijani with the ball forward. Here's Tijani. Here's Uru. Verdon. Ball over the top, or ball wide towards Roche. They have one more chance here, Benin, if they want it. They've got the ball. It's Atajiku with the ball in behind, gets blocked off. Rabia clears away. Fatty cleans up, and it might be the end of this game in 90 minutes. Yeah, the referee can blow it up, but I think they should give an extra minute just because. And that is full time, and we're going to extra time. Oi, what an ending to that game in 90 minutes. We are going to extra time here. An extra half an hour of football here at Afcon 2025 is going to be live. Now, I think this goes to penalties because I think both teams do not have enough, I think, moving forward to break down each other's defense. And so I think we end up in a penalty situation, which will be very interesting here. Egypt, a lack of concentration has seen them in this position. That is my personal opinion. A lack of concentration has seen them in this position. No, Salah's still on the pitch, bro. He's still on the pitch. However, he hasn't really affected the game too much. Been picking up pockets off of that right-hand side, dropping into a little space in between the forward and the midfield area, trying to just clip balls into the box. Has gone in behind one time, had a shot comfortably saved by Danjanu. He hasn't had the best of games, Salah. I can't lie. Neither has Marmouche, to be honest. I know what change they need to make. They need to put a striker on there and allow Marmouche to take that free role. They're not going to do it. He hasn't done it yet. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, that lack of concentration has killed Egypt here in this second half. They were comfortably going to head into the quarterfinals, I think, by holding on to their 1-0 lead if they stayed concentrated, and they didn't. Because Benin don't really have much going forward. They've lost 2 of their main attacking threats in Steve Mounier to illness, and Tosin went off in the first half, but it looks like an apparent hamstring injury. So with your 2 main attackers off, you don't really have many options, and it's a team that's only scored 1 goal in the competition. So it's poor from Egypt to underestimate their opponent and think that they won the game when they hadn't seen it out. You had still at least 20 minutes to go. So you have to see the game out well, and that's through probably the manager making some changes to just shore things up and just to make sure that people keep concentrating and keep on their toes. He didn't do that. And then the goal. El Shanawi with a poor kick out, gets picked up by Olatan. He crosses the ball. It deflects off of Fatu. A great save off the line by El Shanawi, but into the path of Dosu. He hits it just pokes it over the line, and it's 1-1. And we're going to extra time, an extra half an hour, people, of Afcon 2025 football here in the last 16 between Egypt and Benin. Big up to everybody who's watching right now. Make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribe button as well if you're new. We're going to be here shortly. Let me get a snack. Let me get a quick snack, bruv, because, bruv, we got another game coming. I need a snack. I need to refresh because it's a big game coming. I'll be back soon, people. Big up. We're back, people. Just in time. I'm here. I'm here. Big up to everybody's watching right now. Extra time between these two teams. Let me get my snack going, bruv. Because, fam, we're here. We're here. Last 16 Afcon. Let me get my pineapple, bruv. What? Oi. We're here. Extra time. Another half an hour of football to be played. Egypt thought they won it. Atia with a great finish on the edge of the box. Side foot sit into the top left-hand corner of the net. And Egypt thought, we've won it. Game done. After 70 minutes, we're through. They get sloppy, start giving the ball away, not concentrating. And then they gift an equalizer to Benin. And so now we're here. Let's see what Benin can do. I don't know if they've got enough to get this extra goal to kind of give them the win in extra time. I have a feeling it's gonna go to penalties, but we'll have to wait and see. Here's Danjinu. Here's Roche. Here's Hassane, cleared away by Yasser Ibrahim. Here's Ndosu. They're claiming handball. And there's a foul. There's a ball across. Here's Mo Salah. Here's Mo Salah. He's in behind. Unable to make the pass. And Hassane, the ball is going to go out for a Benin throw. Roche will take the throw in for Benin. Goes long. Tajani just kicks upfield. Atajiku. Great work there. Here's Atajiku again. Gonna go towards Tessalimi, sorry. Here's Mo Salah. It's got an overlap from Hani, but that's a great ball towards Zizo. But it's too much on the ball from Mo Salah. Good vision, though, to try and find Zizo. Big up to everybody. There's 200 people watching live here on Pros Only Sports. If you're on X, make sure you're hitting that like button on the video. Make sure you retweet the broadcast and make sure you follow us on X as well, Pros Only Sports, as well as on Instagram and TikTok. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're in that like button, subscribe button as well if you're new, hit the notification bell. Another game after this is Nigeria against Mozambique, but we're probably getting penalties here. I have a feeling we're probably getting penalties here unless one of these teams can do something in this extra time period. Here's Tessalimi now. Amusu was trying to. Is that not a foul? Ref! Olatan went down, no foul. Here's Ashore. Zizo. Here's Fatu on the overlap. Marmouche. Cleared away by Roche. There's a ball over the top to Salah, but skids off the turf. Here's Ashore. Ashore goes down. Free kick to Egypt. And here's Atia, the goal scorer. Hani. Back to Atia. Ashore's in a bit of space here. What can he do? Goes left towards Fatu. Into Marmouche. Get some time to turn. Can he take a shot? Ooh, over the bar. He had some space. He saw it open up. He was like, let me take the shot. And it goes well over the bar. But, oh, it's a corner. It's a corner. Took a deflection there. Let me have a look at this again. He does. Just off the back of I think it's Atajiku. And here comes across. Header! What a header! Wow! Yasser Ibrahim with the header from the cross. I think it was from Hani. Wow! That was a header. Woo! What a header there by Yasser Ibrahim. And it's 2-1. They take it quickly, the corner. Fatu into Zizo. Who took the cross? Atia. Atia with the cross. Oh, what a header by Yasser Ibrahim. Basically on the center of the penalty spot. What a header. Looping over Danjinu. He shouldn't. He has to save that. He has to save that. Hit his fingertips. Oh, mate. And Yasser Ibrahim with the goal here for Egypt. And it's 2-1. It's 2-1 here. And Egypt have taken the lead in extra time. Wow. And now Benin, they had to try and get themselves back into this game. I don't know how they're going to do it now. They haven't offered anything going forward, really. All the time to take the free kick. Here's a sure. Who's going to pick this ball up? Benin will let it ride. Here's Roche. Can they fight back? Here's Olatan. He gives it away. Tijani. There's a ball out wide. Unable to keep the ball in play. There's a sure. It's a throw into Benin. Uru with the long throw into the box. Comes down. Ooh. Here's Mo Salah. It's a ball. Zizo unable to get it. And Hassane gets a throw in for Benin. Tijani's been booked here by the referee. I think for dissent. He's claiming a handball by somebody. Trying to see here. Here's come Benin again. Long ball forward. Headed away by the goal scorer, Yasser Ibrahim. Yasser Ibrahim. Here's Fatu. Nice from Fatu. Gets fouled by Amusu. Ball forward by Egypt from the free kick, and it's a foul by Salah on Roche. Here's Roche. Tijani. Here's Verdon. Here's Dosu. Gives it away. Here's Atajiku. Here's Tijani. Comes forward. Here's Roche. That's a nice ball in behind. Here's Amusu. Tessalami. And it's a throw in to Benin. Egypt now defending against a wave of Benin attack coming in now. Is Olatan going to take the long throw for Benin? Forward. With some defensive work. And it's another throw in to Benin. Olatan to take the long throw again. Cleared away by Egypt. Still with Benin. Here's Verdon. Olatan. Back to Hassane. Here's Zizo. Here's Zizo. Here's Mamouche. Hassan on the sideline, stressed out. Oh, so they're saying that's handball, but I don't think it's handball. I don't think that's handball. I think it brushes his hand, but not. Nah, it's not handball. It's not handball. Don't know why he's complaining. Roche just keeping the ball alive and winning it for Benin in the midfield. But they go back to Danjinu in the goal. Here's Olatan, and Fati clears away. And so does Fatu clears away. Here they come again. Here's Atajiku pushing forward. Here's Hassane, just keeps his eye off the ball. No, Hassane just not concentrating hard enough to try and get the ball over to Roche. Here's Verdon with the ball over the top. Tessalimi just trying to find himself some space. 1 minute of added time in his first half of extra time. Danjanu just picking the ball up outside of his goal. Here's Tijani. Here's Atajiku. Here's Olatan. Cleared away by Yasser Ibrahim. Tired. Here's Mo Salah. Mamouche tried to turn away. Last chance. Hey, some of these Egypt players are exhausted. It's half time in extra time. 15 minutes to go, and Egypt will be finding themselves into the quarterfinals, which will take place for them on Saturday. Salisu had an ACL yesterday. Uh, wrap it up, man. What? Okay, I have a solution. Josh Achampong. Josh Achampong. Chelsea. That's who we need to go get. They're not gonna do it, but that's what we need right now. That's what we need right now. Josh Achampong. Yeah, GQ's he needs to be healthy. He does. He's a good defender. Brav. Brav. That's not good. But we got one half left of football here before Egypt take their place in the quarterfinals. Can they hold on? Can they extend the lead? Or will Benin fight back and get themselves a penalty shootout to keep their hopes at least alive for that lottery? We'll see. We will see. The second half of extra time is due to come. Players are tired. Tired. You saw at the end of that first half, Yasser Ibrahim, the goal scorer for Egypt, down on the ground. Down on the ground, just beaten down because it's been a physical game, a mentally taxing game. But he's back up. He's fine. He's giving a thumbs up to the bench. He's saying, I can continue for another 15 minutes. Let's see if he can. Will his goal be enough to take them through to the quarterfinals? Benin need to find another gear. And if they can, I think they have enough to get in behind. What? What's going to happen? Roche off and Hassane off. Roche and Hassane off. I want to know who's come on. Mm, Fatu with the throwing for Egypt. And he's been booked for time wasting. Fatu. And Musu trying to push the ball forward to Jani nearly giving the ball away. Eesh. Verdon to get away with it. Here's Uru. Here's Atajiku. Here's Uru. Oof. Here's Atajiku trying to find the ball forward. Eee, that's a bad tackle by Zizou. And it's a yellow card. for Astajiku. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, it's a yellow card. It's a yellow card. He didn't catch him. Fatty over to Hani. His Rabia. Fatu. Or his Verdon. Cleared away by Egypt. His Zizou. It's an Egypt throw. His Mamouche back towards Fatty in the center of the defense. His Yasser Ibrahim. His Hani now. He's going to take his time into a shore. Egypt just trying to keep the ball. Benin trying to press. His Fatu. His Fatu. He gives it away. Here come his Tessalimi. And there's a foul. It's a free kick. Egypt play with fire again. Too relaxed. It's a free kick to Benin. Egypt can see the free kick ashore there on Tessalimi. So a free kick here to Benin. There's no way that this commentator just said he's hoping the Benin fans are hoping that the juju is working today. Yes, he knows. Oi, that's what they're known for, fam. So let's see, man. Because that equalizer was a bit mad. Olatan standing over it for Benin. It's a big chance, man. Set pieces are their way forward for them. What can they do here? Atia just on the ground there, just in case it goes low. Deflection, and it's a corner. It's a corner to Johnny with the shot. I thought that was a corner. It's a goal kick. El Shanawi to take. Here's Dosu. Egypt trying to. They need to slow the game down. They don't need to rush. Just need to be professional here. Here's Zizo. It's a Benin throw. Uru to take. Here's Verdon. Here's Tajani. Forward to Wards to Salimi, but it's gone over the top of his head. It's out for a throw into Egypt. Fatu to take it. Verdon with a long kick. Egypt with a bit of space here. Here's Hani pushing forward. Here's Mo Salah. Here's Ashore. And they give it away to Atajiku. Can Benin break here? They give it away to Salimi to pick it up. Uru with the ball forward. Cleared away by Rabia. They give it away. Here's Olatan. Goes wide towards Amusu. Here's Alvini. Here's Amusu. Benin pushing forward. Atajiku. Alvini. E. E. Ooh. Here's Olatan. It's a ball into Dosu. It's a good cross by Dosu. Yeah, I don't understand that too, Drizzy. There's a cross into the box. Ooh. Mo Salah goes down. Free kick to Egypt. It's clever from Mo Salah, just using his experience there. Just to kind of alleviate the bit of pressure. Egypt's good from Salah. Yeah, I mean, Ivory Coast should be playing today just to kind of so we understand who's going into the quarterfinals, but it's happening tomorrow. I don't know why. It is what it is. Um, Tonight we have Nigeria against Mozambique, so we'll see. They come forward. Mm, it's a cross into the box, cleared away by Rabia. Yes, Ibrahim clears upfield. Tijani. Here's Danjanu. Oh, so now he clears upfield after collecting that chance there. Or the ball into the box by Benin, rather. Egypt players. Egypt edging ever closer to a victory here to take them through to the quarterfinals. Here's a Shaw over to Zizo. Here's Fatu. Zizo back to Fatu. Here's Zizo again. 1-2. Just trying to keep the ball here. The Shaw just takes a wild swing at it. Osama Sama encouraging his team members, his team to just try and do what they need to do just to see this game out, not to lose concentration. Here's a Shaw. His Marmouche pushes Atajiku. Alimvi just getting to try to get the crossing, gets a throw in. Benin going to push for the throw. It's a ball into the box, cleared away. Here's Mo Salah pushing forward. He's been fouled. He's been fouled. It's a yellow card. Alimvi just his shirt has been ripped. Mo Salah. Shirt ripped and everything. It's a long ball towards Mo Salah, but it's offside. Egypt are a minute and a half away, plus added time here. Probably only going to be a minute. Mustafa Mohamed's going to come on. Coming on for Mamouche. Mamouche off for Mustafa Mohamed. We're into the final minute of this game. Benin put up a hard fight, but unfortunately, that header by Yasser Ibrahim is going to take Egypt through to the quarterfinals. Is Mo Salah. He's going to go to the corner. He doesn't have to. They're going to keep this right here. Here comes Mo Salah again. His Zizo can go to the corner. Yeah, just got to keep it here. Here's Ashore. Here's Zizo. Here's Mo Salah. Ashore. Over the bar. That's it, I think, anyway. Three minutes of added time. What can Benin do here? Oh, Dosu keeps it. It's a corner. It's a corner for Benin. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. What can Benin do? They take it quickly. Oh, Olatan, bro, that was your chance. Why did they take? They should have just taken their time. You take your time. You take your time there, man. Olatan rushing there. El Shanawi kicking it long. Set offside. Headed away. Here's a Shaw now. It's gonna go wide to Mo Salah. Here's a chance here for Benin. One more chance. Can they do something? Long ball. Here's Hani. Here's a Shaw. Gives it away a Shaw. Here come Benin. One last attack. Here's Tessalimi. Here's Olatan. Rabia, cramp. He's on the floor, Rabia. And there's a chance here. Here's Mo Salah. Goalkeeper's off his line. Oh, Salah! That's it. It's over. It's over. Where was the keeper going? And Mo Salah kills the game. He kills the game. Where was the keeper going? That is it. It's over. 3-1 to Egypt, and we've killed the game here. Mo Salah with his third goal in the competition. And Egypt are through to the quarterfinals of Afcon. Hey, where was Danjinu, the goalkeeper, going? Just outside of his left boot, past Danjinu in the goal, and Benin are down and out of this competition at the last 16 stage. Egypt will move forward to the quarterfinals. Wow. What a finish to this game. Ibrahim with his goal in the first half of extra time to give them the lead and to kill the game. Mo Salah gets his third goal of the competition, and Egypt have made it through to the quarterfinals of the African Cup of Nations. It has been a hard-fought game for Egypt, but they come through in the end. Benin should be proud of their performance today. Just didn't have enough going forward, to be honest with you. They capitalized off that mistake and that lack of concentration by El Shanawi. But Hossam Hassan is leading his team into a quarterfinals of the African Cup of Nations. What can they do in a potential matchup against Burkina Faso or the Ivory Coast, the current champions, the defending champions of the African Cup of Nations? We will find out who their opponent will be tomorrow evening when those two teams play off, Burkina Faso and Ivory Coast. We will find out who comes through. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. We still have more action tonight here at the African Cup of Nations. There is going to be Nigeria against Mozambique. Big, big game for the Super Eagles and for Mozambique as well as their first opportunity in the knockout stages of the African Cup of Nations. We will be back very soon, people. We're going to be back in about 5 minutes' time. I'm going to be here continuing on with some of the action. So make sure, people, if you're out there on Pros Only Sports YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button as well. If you're new, hit the notification bell. And then if you're on X, we're streaming live on X as well in 5 minutes' time. Make sure you stay tuned, stick with us, hit that like button on this video. Make sure you retweet it out to all of your followers so they know we're doing this. And then make sure you follow the account Pros Only Sports on Instagram, on TikTok, and also on X. Give us a follow over there. Big up to all of you people out there right now. We'll be back in about 5 minutes' time. Peace.